The most unique feature of Vyas Residential Program is actually our academic care program, the personalized academic care, and that is the most crucial one. Why? Because the child was anyway staying in his or her home nicely, cozily, comfortably. Mother's cooking very good food. Nothing can beat that. So why should a child come and join Vyas Residential Program? Naturally, we try to make the child as comfortable as possible with respect to lodging, boarding, food, but the key takeaway is the academic input. So, I'm very proud to present the special academic features. First and foremost, the batch size, small batches. Coachings have been notorious for large, massive batches 100, 150, 200, 300. There are, I've heard stories, I've not seen them, that there are sometimes 1500 students also in a class. Wow. Our batches are small in such a way that every child can very comfortably communicate with the teacher, and teacher can observe each and every child if he or she wants to look in the copy of any student. So, foremost, which is again unusual for educational institutes of very high academic quality, that the batch size is going to be controlled and small, so that in the class also there is a lot of personalized focus. Secondly, there are a number of features which support the learning other than the classroom. Means, it's very obvious that a class is going to be held, it is going to be taken. The teachers who come to class are extremely well prepared. It is assumed that for taking a 1-hour class, the teacher should have put in, the self-study hours of at least 5 to 10 hours, so that the lecture is well polished, practice, it is delivered with grace and finesse. And when a child studies, the learning actually is smooth and very motivating. In addition, thirdly, if you look at the study material, we boast of the very best study material. If you just look at the booklets, this is the latest and the most updated study material in the country. Latest and most updated, fine. In the country, yes. Each lecture has been planned, and a booklet represents the material for 1 to 2 classes, rarely 3 classes. So for every 1 to 2 classes, you get a booklet. So a booklet like this, every student will get around 100 such booklets in the entire year in science and maths combined. But typically students come to a class, the teacher takes a class, students write down notes, and the class gets over and the students go back, and the story usually ends there in schools and coachings. Now, this is not the same at Vyas Residential Program. Why? Because this is actually where the work begins. The teacher has delivered the class, the student has, just listened to the material which has been delivered. Churning of that material has not happened. Obviously, this is a part of homework and self-study. But please note, 99.9% of students do not do their homework regularly and do not take up self-study on day-to-day basis. They do it just before the exams or just before the checking. In our case, individual mentors are assigned to every student, and these mentors meet the students on day-to-day basis. You will find that every coaching has assigned mentors, but these mentors often have hundreds of students, and they may not see the student even once in a month. In our case, in campus, these mentors are very much there on the campus, and they will meet the student on day-to-day basis. What would they do? The interaction is in a special session which we have termed as concept development session. What is this concept development session? In this case, see, the concept has been delivered in the class, but has it actually grown within a child, within a student? So, what happens in concept development session is, the student gets one-on-one time with the teacher, so that if there is anything the student wants to ask, they can ask. If there is any doubt which has not been cleared, although they can ask all these doubts in the class also. Still, sometimes when they come back, when they read and they say that, oh, I didn't understand this, they can ask again. That is one possibility. Wonderful. Anything else? Now they're supposed to solve the homework in the presence of the teacher. That's very rewarding actually. Why? Because many times if I'm solving a question and if I'm stuck, the students keep sitting over the question for half an hour, 1 hour. They say I'm studying, but actually they're just sitting. Instead, if the teacher is taking rounds, all the child needs to do is raise a hand and say, sir, please can you explain me this? Or ma'am, can you explain me this? That is it. The teacher can discuss it then and there. So the problem which would have taken a lot of time otherwise gets over very quickly. Not just that, the teacher, because they're interacting on one-on-one basis, it is also possible that the teacher can understand what is the problem which is being faced by the student. Have they not understood a concept? Do they not remember the formula? Have they missed out on the definition? And they can accordingly suggest a remedy, not just with respect to that question, but also in the approach of the student, how they're approaching the subject, what is their learning methodology. This is possible only in a live, close interaction between a mentor, a teacher, and a student. I'm very proud to say we are the only ones who go to this extent and help out our students. So concept development sessions involve A, in case there is a doubt, can be resolved. B, there is a guided problem solving. All the homework which is assigned is done in the presence of an active subject teacher. And thirdly, there is Viva. Actually, a lot of learning happens in Viva sessions. What is the role of Viva? One-on-one Viva with teacher, in which the teacher is asking very, very simple fundamental questions just to make sure that are the basics all right. Because in 90% of the cases, these basics are the ones which are loose. And this personal interaction in which the teacher is pinpointedly asking a given student a question the student is supposed to answer, every student is interviewed by Viva every day. Simply, there's no, it's not that it's a tense atmosphere. They're joyfully solving, and in a very friendly fashion, the entire session is conducted so that the students can be gently made to realize that my child, see, you just need to remember a couple of definitions, or maybe you have not understood this concept, so let us go over this concept once again together. And once, see, ultimately the children want to study well. But the problem is, if we don't look at a child for maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and in the end, we say that, oh my God, you have not done the chapter. Now please solve these 300 questions. Please read these 50 pages of theory. Please learn these 70 reactions or 80 formulae. The child is flabbergasted. I mean, this is too much, I can't do it. And then they leave the chapter. Instead, if I am observant every day, I'll say, okay, this is just half a page of theory, just a couple of definitions, maybe one formula, one reaction, maybe 2 reactions. Very little theory, something which can be done in 5 to 10 minutes. And maybe a couple of problems, 3, 4 type of questions. This is all which is covered in a day, right? So if that is corrected on very first day, it is done every day. So every day we are learning properly and we are making sure that the correct corrections are being made. Number one. And number two, anything else? See, if I'm learning the first step properly, see, the problem is after the first class, when the student goes to the second class or third class or fourth class, typically they have forgotten what has been done in the previous class because they have not practiced well. They have not done the homework properly. So after 5, 6 classes, the students stop understanding what is going on. In our case, because of these concept development sessions, the concepts are being built brick by brick, day by day. And the level of student rises with every passing class because the previous foundations have been laid strongly. That is the real essence and power of these concept development sessions, which are aided by small quantized sheets, which are nothing but chapter wise, not chapter wise, topic wise, subtopic wise booklets. Every lecture involves, for every lecture or every 2 lectures involve coverage of one quantum. And that is something which makes this entire academic system very productive, Of course, very innovative, no doubt, and very, very fruitful and very supportive for a child, because the pressure from the child has been taken away. Oh my God, you are making the child sit and do homework every day. That's okay. Problem is not the homework. Problem is not being able to solve the homework because there is no guidance. Now the teacher is devoting double time extra, because not only are they teaching, but when the child is doing the problem solving, that time also teacher is not only available but actively discussing all the problems, so that there is no problem at the end. I repeat, this system may look a little invasive initially, because you may say that the child should have a lot of free time. There are free periods, there are games periods, sports periods, null periods where they can do whatever they want. But when it comes to doing regular homework, this is where we take the responsibility that the child will complete the homework properly with the guidance of our expert faculty. This is where VRP is really distinguished. Within the academic domain, a student attends a class. Yes, we arrange concept development sessions which are more focused, more personalized. Yes. In addition, do we have something which is even more personalized and focused? Yes. And these are remedial sessions. What are remedial sessions? See, when a student is in, say, class 9, many times it is possible that while teaching a chapter, the teacher is obviously teaching as per standard 9th, but there is a concept of maybe standard 6th or 7th or 8th which may be missing. The class in general is assumed to know that concept because it is a class 9 class. But a given student may miss out on some basics. Could have been any reason, but in a sense it has been missed. What is the remedy? Usually there is no remedy. Our education system simply says neglect it and go ahead. But please remember, academic strength is built brick by brick. There is first a concept, then over that you build a second concept and third concept and fourth concept. For standard 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, this is where I should have reached, but this is missing. What happens if you just leave a brick here and there is no base? It falls down. You cannot build on something which is not there. And it is not that the child has not passed or excelled in previous classes. As per the school scorecard, you can see that the child may be class topper also. But even class toppers may not remember all that has been done in the previous class very properly. Sometimes some portions are even omitted officially by the school. But ultimately that concept is required sooner or later. And the moment we try to build on that concept, in case it is missing, everything collapses. And our system of education is such that if a child manages to ask a very simple basic question, the teacher may always say that, come on, you know all this, right? And the students also start laughing otherwise in the class. So is there a place where a student, any child, can very safely ask any doubt without a fear that the child is going to be judged? Oh, you don't know even this much? Nobody is going to say that. Oh, you don't know even this much. No, you don't know, and that is why you have come to us to learn. I understand that there has been a period of COVID, and even after COVID, because 2 years of schooling has been missed, after that also, what has been built over those missed years is not really rock solid. So what do? We hold separate remedial sessions in which the student, we try to identify very actively ourselves also, that is there a previous concept which needs an update? Then we fix up classes on that. Small sessions, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever is required for the child. But whatever is necessary, what I mean to say is, there is a dedicated avenue where all the previous doubts can be addressed, taught again, handled, polished, and made sure that any problem is addressed. That is something which is very crucial, and I'm very proud to say this is very unique to our Vyas Residential Program, VRP. Another very important key feature of VRP is our DPPs, or daily practice problems. DPPs are popular everywhere. Every quota system actually offers DPPs, although they may differ in their implementation of the entire process, but for us, DPP is a very valuable, structured, systematic revision tool. Revision tool? Yes, that's very important. Normally, revision is left to the students. Now, we have taught the chapter, you revise. What happens is after chapter 1, 2, 3, as time passes, chapter 1 begins to fade away, then chapter 2 begins to fade away. We keep on going ahead and the previous chapters are continuously being lost. That is not acceptable. What we do is we give DPPs. We solve DPPs, we discuss DPPs. And what is DPP? A DPP or a daily practice problem, as the name suggests, is a set of problems, a small set, something which can be done in 30 to 45 minutes, a small set of problems which is given daily. See, the power lies in doing it every day. It is given daily and it consists of questions from previous chapters or the chapters before that. So, we have already learned those chapters and questions from those chapters keep coming back again and again so that the memory of those concepts is always fresh. This is a very powerful tool, very systematic, very structured, and we don't leave the revision to the child, but we make sure that it is being done on day-to-day basis in the form of DPPs. And finally, is a very key part of our personalized academic care is Prism. What is Prism? Prism is personalized remedial session by your mentor. What is it? See, I'll tell you a very standard story, just listen to that. In school and in various coaching institutes, what happens is you have periodic tests. You take a test and in that test you are graded, you get some marks. Fine. And what is the purpose of taking a test? The purpose of taking a test actually is that you understand where the shortcomings are and you work on those shortcomings so that you can improve upon that subject. This is supposed to be the aim of the test. On the other hand, what actually happens is after every test, ranks are declared, marks are declared, people compare with each other. They focus on what others have got and not what they have done. If you have got first rank, you're very happy, oh, I'm the best. But still, you have lost some marks. Some concepts are still missing. I'm not saying chase marks, I'm saying chase the learning. An assessment is a very systematic method to give you an idea that, look, my child, this is the entire spectrum you were supposed to be aware of. And in this A, B, C, D, there may be 1500 concepts. You may be very good. If you're very good, you would have done 1200. But still 300 are missing. Is there a scope for improvement? Yes, there is a scope for improvement. So what should you do? Gently learn the ones which are missing. And in a test, it is not possible to ask 300 or 1500 concepts. You just ask 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, whatever. So wherever you notice that a lacuna is there, a gap is there, just take it up, improve upon it and go ahead. Sometimes the error may be in maybe a particular concept. Sometimes the error may be in the entire approach with which we are studying a given chapter or a given subject, or overall in our approach toward academics. Is this portion talked about? Do children or do students understand this, or are educational institutions even talking about this? Not many times actually. And even if they talk about it, the talk is usually, okay students, so you improve upon this. A dictum is given, improve this. How would a child improve? Exactly, if you get something like a doctor's recommendation, okay, learn these 3 definitions, learn these 5 formulae, understand these 5 formulae, what is the meaning of each term, solve these 15 questions, and your lacunae or your gaps in this paper will be addressed. Done. If such a very definitive action plan is presented to a student, obviously the student can execute it. See, if I say, study well, the student will say, I'm studying well. But I say, do you remember these A and B, these 2 formulae? If not, learn them. Do you understand these definitions, A, B, C? If not, let's try to discuss and understand them. Can you solve these 5 questions? If yes, great. If not, Let us discuss them. So this is a very precise, pinpointed method. It's not subjective or airy or hazy. It's very pinpointed. And this is what is actually done in Prism. Light passes through Prism and you get a rainbow, 7 colors. In the same fashion, when the performance of a child is passing through a prism, the prism of a teacher's attention and experience, the 7 colors are produced and we can find out wherever the gap is. We can discuss on one-on-one basis with the student and very gently point out that this is the path to remedy. You devote maybe 30 minutes and this problem will be solved. We don't give infinite work like 300 hours of work is there now. If you want, you do it. No. Systematically, after we test a discussion, or it's an ongoing process actually, because it's not that we have a heavy test sometime. Small mini tests are always happening, and these prism sessions always are also periodically held so that every child individually can be made to understand that this is the path of solving his exact academic problems with minimum effort and very focused support from their mentor. Once you have learned these, please understand that this is at least 7 to 10 times the work which is actually done when others are simply teaching in classroom and going away. Teaching in classroom and going away is very, very easy, and maybe setting a paper and taking a test. But holding child's hand at every step, every time, nudging him towards doing better, gently, ensuring that there's no tension, ensuring that there is no, miscomfort. It is an evolution exercise in which both the mentor and the student become participants. They revel, they take happiness in understanding that we are blooming and evolving with every passing day. And that, my dears, is the entire spectrum of academic care being offered by Vyas Residential Program, VRP. It is a matchless offering. It requires such tremendous dedication and academic input from teachers that it is extremely tough to be followed by many others in general. People may promise whatever they want, but actually doing this on ground is very difficult. And even thinking about this, I think we are the first. This is the major reason why I say that you must bring your child to Vyas Residential Program very early, right from standard 6th or 7th or 8th, or maybe even 9th. Make sure that the child learns to learn in a very structured, systematic way. It takes time to get accustomed to such a schedule. It's fairly intense. At the same time, discovering joy in this intensity, once this is done, we are heading towards the path with genius. This is a dream for each of our students at VRP, that they must realize their potential. Whatever they love, whatever they like, they should master that without feeling harassed, tensed, depressed, left out. No, learning is an enjoyment. It should stay like a joy. They should laugh, they should be merry, they should be happy, and they should learn. This, my dears, is VRP.